Transmission.
Transmission fans, today I'm joined with Geoff Schmidt, CEO of Meteor. Hey, Geoff.
Hey.
Today we're talking about competition, MDG's competition. So let's dive into these questions. So, Geoff, how concerned are you that the Meteor stack, the happy path that you guys have made for developers, could be knocked off by a 100% community-driven stack, maybe sponsored by Facebook or Google? You know, an example being that recently React announced command line tool for starting up a React app really quick with Webpack and all that stuff because they noticed that boilerplates was like a real pain in the butt. And that's kind of like what Meteor kind of solves, like all this like stupid boilerplate stuff. What do you think about that competition?
I think there's enough work for everyone. Like, of all the things I lose sleep about, it's not that we're going to run out of things that are good to do that will be valuable for JavaScript. So I think there are, first of all, I think JavaScript fatigue is a very real phenomenon. This proliferation of different tools and different options is making it harder, not easier, to build JavaScript applications. And there's just a lot of hard work to do to provide an integrated solution where you can say, hey, everything's in one box, there's some release engineering, it's ready to go. And I think that, you're talking about CLI tools. I think that's great. I'd like to collaborate. I'd like to see an industry-wide effort to build a great CLI tool that we maintain together, rather than having 5 different ones floating around. So I think as long as everyone's thinking in the same direction, I mean, maybe there's a day when Meteor is really thin. It's just Apollo plus a bunch of curated and well-integrated pieces from across the JavaScript ecosystem. I don't necessarily see that as a bad outcome. And I think the JavaScript ecosystem has always been characterized by kind of a very caring and collaborative ethos compared to some other software ecosystems. I've never understood exactly what it was about JavaScript that made that happen. But I think there's going to be plenty of work for everyone to do. And I'm more focused on making sure that what we do is valuable and not duplicative of other people's efforts, rather than worrying that someone else is going to go out there and do all the work that needs to get done. I'd throw out a couple other thoughts too. One is, if you look at I think at the end of the day, especially if you think about business adoption, and especially if you think about enterprise adoption, a lot of people are looking for a vendor. They're looking for a company they can trust who is focused on serving their needs in application development. Most software in the world is enterprise software. Most enterprise software is written on .NET and Java. These are both, these are both ecosystems with a strong central vendor that takes care of the business that's chosen to make a big bet on the platform. There's always going to be a need for a vendor that provides a complete integrated solution. And I just think there's plenty of space. Everything we can do to make JavaScript better is good for all of us. And I'm not especially worried that Facebook is going to decide that social networks are a terrible business and they really want to go compete with Meteor to sell, React plus Relay support subscriptions and hosting tools to the enterprise. Likewise, I think if Google can find a way to use Angular to sell other Google products and services that are commercial products and services like Google Compute Engine, I think that's great. And I think we're not going to find that it's a threat to Meteor's business. So I guess I just distinguish on the open source side, as long as we all collaborate, we're all going to win. We don't necessarily have to look, we shouldn't be looking at it as a competitive dynamic, given all the opportunity in JavaScript to grow the pie and make things better for everyone. And on the commercial side, I don't necessarily see a huge set of conflicts in terms of the way the industry is evolving right now. The other thing I'd say is I think Meteor has and has always had and will continue to have a huge competitive advantage on the data piece. And I think that at the end of the day, you're probably going to want to get your integrated stack from whoever's providing the data piece, because the data piece is such a cross-cutting concern that affects in some way or another every part of your stack. So I think my theory, and this is just a theory, I don't know, my theory is that the I'm pretty sure that people want an integrated platform. I know there's lots of people who love building their own platforms, and that they will continue building their own platforms, and that's great. I think that will be a smaller and smaller percentage of the market as JavaScript goes. But I have a theory, and I think it's probably a pretty good theory, that you're going to get your integration from the whoever provides the data piece, and I think we can provide a great data piece. So if you told me that no one was going to adopt Apollo, I'd be really worried. But I think we have I think we have a chance to take all the strengths that have made people adopt Meteor, which is not just the great developer experience, but also the great data functionality, and continue taking those strengths forward and continuing to bring in great ideas from across the ecosystem to build the industry-leading way to move data from servers to clients. And I think if we do that, Meteor
will be a win.
Will be important parts of the JavaScript ecosystem for a long time to come.
I agree with you. That's a great answer. That's very good. So right now, Galaxy is the main revenue stream that you guys have. And so that's revenue from the hosting industry. And the hosting industry is like just notorious for being a commodity, for being like a race to the bottom, pretty much. Like people are pricing out and whatnot. You have a competitive advantage because it's specifically built for Meteor and the specialty that Meteor has. So that's good. So it's almost like you're kind of taken out of the race to the bottom. But ultimately, it's going to be a race to the bottom. Like there's going to be competition that comes up and says, hey, I can host your Meteor app better than Galaxy and blah, blah, blah. No, even if it's not true, that's what people are going to be marketing and whatnot. Are you worried about that? Do you think that Galaxy is always going to be your primary revenue stream, or do you think something else is going to become number one in the future?
Our goal is to provide a complete end-to-end software development and hosting platform. So hosting is one part of that. We built hosting first, in part because it's what everyone was asking for.
So Galaxy has 1,000 customers, right?
Yeah, it's been going well. I'd also say Galaxy's only lost one customer in its history, and that was a company that went into business. So it's a product that.
So you didn't really lose a customer.
Yeah. So it's a great product a lot of people like, and it really, I think, addresses a real need that we were hearing from people over the last year. But it's not the last thing we're going to do. There's a lot of pieces that go into writing an app and running it at scale and managing it and monitoring it and maintaining it and having confidence in it and making that process as easy as possible. And you can expect to see some more products from us that aren't just hosting products.
So like going forward, we can expect to see products and services coming out where as a whole, it's going to be such a compelling story that there's really not going to be the ability for someone to compete with you guys, along with like an Apollo and a Meteor app. Like you guys are going to like try to own that market with.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it gets back to what I was saying before. There's no shortage of work to do. There's a lot of ways that we can provide value other than just open source code to people that are building apps on the Meteor platform. The scarcity is not around ideas about how to do that. The scarcity is around we want to build these things one at a time rather than necessarily start 3 things all at once. So I don't think we even need to think of it as, hey, we're going to go kick the butt of anyone who wants to compete with us. There's, that
would make a good sign in your office, though, wouldn't it? We're going to kick the butt of anyone who competes with us.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think we need to make winners and losers. I think there's enough here for everyone.
Yeah,
cool.
I think one way of saying it is kind of like, we have all of this great open source stuff, and we're starting to have a bunch of also great services. I think that's basically how it breaks down because, we've been talking about this a lot at the office over time, where developers, they don't really want to pay for like programs in their computer, like Sublime Text or something. Like everyone just cancels the little pop-up every time.
Yeah.
But there's some things that are just like inherently hard to do, right? Like hosting your app, no matter where you're doing it, is inherently hard. And like we kind of try to make it less hard, and that's worth a lot of money to people. And so there's plenty of other things that we can do that just they can't possibly be shipped as open source software. They basically have to be services. And so there's a lot of places we can make life easier for people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There are more. I shouldn't give the idea that we're going to like start writing closed source software and sell it for like $25 to download a license key to the obfuscated source. I think there's a lot of valuable cloud services that we can provide that will feel natural to pay for.
Partial transmission complete.
Transmission, a weekly show about the most impactful posts from our Meteor.js forums. This show is sponsored by Meteor Galaxy Hosting, a containerized cloud service specifically designed and engineered for Meteor app deployment. Learn more at meteor.com/galaxy. This show is also sponsored by OKGrow, an official Meteor consulting partner building full stack web and mobile apps. Learn more at okgrow.com.